What's happening, everyone? John Geyerman here today, and I have the special pleasure of meeting with Caitlyn Muder, the Williston State College volleyball coach, women's volleyball. I wanted to talk with her today because they have a home playoff game tomorrow, Sunday at 2 p.m. And I have been taking photos of their games since the beginning of the season, and I've been so impressed with the improvement of her girls and her coaching this season. So I thought we should get to know her coaching philosophies, and just talk with her a little bit more before the playoffs begin. So welcome, Caitlyn. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for being here and talking with me.
Well, yeah, I'm really excited that you asked me to step on your page this morning, and I'm excited to get to talk about volleyball.
Great, thank you. So let's kind of just start with getting to know you. Where are you from? What kind of family did you grow up in? That kind of thing. Share with us a little bit about your background.
Okay, I'm originally from Kansas City, Kansas. Go Chiefs, you know.
Okay.
I'm the youngest of five. I've got three older brothers and an older sister.
Okay.
And yeah, we just lived in the heart of Kansas City. We lived in the same house my whole life until after I graduated high school and went on to college. My parents we've been a working family. My dad's an electrician, my mom's a registered nurse, and that is about it. Most of my family still lives in Kansas City.
Okay.
I've always said I wanted to go back home. For the last couple of years, I just haven't made it back there yet, but one day I will.
Well, great. We're glad to have you here in Williston. Were you a good student growing up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I made really good grades.
Okay.
In high school, I think I ended still with a 4.0 in high school, and it ended up paying for most of my college. I did play college volleyball. I did 2 years at Highland Community College, and then I finished up my playing career at Southwest Baptist University, which is in Bolivar, Missouri. It's in the Ozark area.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
and you played volleyball through high school. What age did you start volleyball?
I started when I was about 12 years old.
Okay.
I started playing club volleyball. At that time, I played basketball growing up, but I never really loved it. Didn't really like it. Played softball, didn't really love it either, but I've always loved volleyball. So since I was about 12, I started playing year-round, and it paid off.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what is it about volleyball that you were drawn to? What is it that you love?
I mean, really just the sport in general.
Okay.
I think that I just had a knack for it. I was just naturally talented at it, and so I just wanted to keep perfecting it and be the best that I could be.
Okay.
And I don't know, the sport is just so fun. It's really fast paced. You have to be really versatile. My goal was to always play every single position, so I never wanted to come out of the game.
Right.
So I made sure that I could pass well and set well and hit well.
You just love playing that much.
I just loved playing, yeah, and I never wanted to be on the bench. So.
And what I notice about most women's volleyball, it seems like there's a huge team aspect to it. The ladies always seem to have fun, and there's a good camaraderie.
Yes.
Is that what drew you to it as well?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
The camaraderie is awesome. Being with a group of girls, you're with each other so much. You spend so much time together. It's important to know each other off of the court, but especially on the court, having that connection with your teammates, so that you play better, and you kind of know how to pick each other up if you're down, or for me as a passer, I would try to learn what kind of passes my setter wanted, so I could be the best that I could be for her, so that she could be her best for the rest of the team.
Very precise movements and precise passes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess that's a really big part of volleyball is, you in all sports, but you just do rep after rep after rep to try to perfect that ball, to make it better every single time, you touch it. So.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get back more to volleyball. I do want to jump in more just about you. So you finished up your volleyball career at Baptist College there in Missouri, and then how did you wind up in Williston? Where did it take you from in
Okay.
between from there and now?
Yeah, so after I graduated, I moved back to Kansas City, just bartended for a couple of years. I did not use my degree right
Okay.
away,
What was your degree?
I have a degree in psychology,
Okay.
sports emphasis.
Okay.
And then a really good friend of mine, he worked for a retail store. He had asked to take over a store in Las Vegas, and he asked if I wanted to go with him. So I went with him and another friend of ours, and so we lived in Vegas for about 2 years, and it was so much fun. We had the time of our lives. But I was actually dating somebody who was working here and living there, and here.
Coming here to work,
Yep.
okay.
Yep, and we did long distance for a little while, and he asked me to move here, and so I did. But
Okay.
shortly after I moved here, it didn't work out.
Okay.
But it worked, but for the better. I had a great job at that point,
Okay.
like right after I moved here, and just kind of like restarted my life. I stayed instead
Okay.
of going back to Vegas or going back to Kansas City. I stayed, and now I have 2 wonderful children.
That's awesome.
And
Did you meet your husband here then?
yes,
Okay.
yep. So we actually worked together.
Okay.
At Weatherford,
Mhm.
just down the road from the college here. We worked together there for a couple of years, and then, and that's how it all started.
That's awesome. And I
Yeah.
know you were assistant coach with Chelsea, the former head
Yes.
coach.
Yep, and
She asked you, how did she get to know you? How did you come to be assistant coach here?
so that relationship started because her husband and mine are really great friends
Okay.
with each other, and they've always worked together for the last, 7 or 8 years.
Wow, okay.
And right after Chelsea and Connor, her husband, got married, she moved up from Florida, and Connor knew I played volleyball and introduced us, and then she got the head coaching job, and she just reached out to me and said, hey, I know you know volleyball, would you want to come on board with me and help me out? And so that's how that all started. That was in 2019. And then I was her assistant for 3 out of the 4 seasons that she
Right.
was head coach. I did take a gap year to really just focus on my one son at the time, and then I missed it so much that I called her up.
Oh,
right
really?
before- Yes.
Okay.
And I just said, hey, is there any chance you would take me back? Because I really want to come back into volleyball. I really missed it. It just felt like it was just a part of my life that I was missing out on, and it's always so fun to be here on campus and be with the girls. And as an assistant, I wasn't really here as much on campus, just really for practices and games, because I did have another full-time job. But I just wanted more of that. I love the volleyball community here, and just being around younger kids helps keep me
There's
young,
an
I
energy,
guess.
right?
Yes.
There's an energy that,
Yeah.
that is here that you just always want to tap into. There's so
Yes.
much potential there. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they keep us young. They teach us new words or whatever is going on, and yeah, I just love being around them.
That's an amazing story. I marvel at everyone's path to Williston, and then sort of what keeps them there. Like, usually you come here for for one specific reason, it doesn't work out, but then you ultimately, I know a lot of people who have found, like you said, even better lives, or it's worked out for them essentially, and they're happy, and that's what happened with you. It brought you back to one of your passions, which is volleyball, and then now you are the state college head coach. That's awesome. Volleyball coaching. I've been impressed because let's let everyone know that you stepped in with very limited time at the beginning of the season there. And I know there's a lot that goes into it, such as recruiting, because you need players, and it's a 2-year college, so it seems like you're always cycling out players. But I was there at the beginning, watch you guys play. I'd say you guys were pretty average. You were getting things together. But then you guys had been on quite the run lately. How many games in a row have you guys won?
I think we won 6.
6. That's amazing. You hesitated.
I know, it's either 5 or 6.
Okay,
so.
well, that's quite the run.
Yeah.
And it has you positioned 3rd in the conference now? Okay. And then you guys are hosting a playoff game again Sunday. What's the date tomorrow? The
22nd.
The 22nd at 2 p.m. at the Well. So please come out and support the volleyball and the college. But yeah, I've just been impressed with the improvements that you've made. Can you get into a little bit about, I guess, that whole process from when you
Sure.
first stepped in, how you developed your coaching philosophy, and maybe how it's changed, and then just any good stories you have about the season?
Okay, yeah. So, go back to the beginning. Coach Hink decided to leave, I feel like, in late July.
Okay.
And prior to her leaving, she had talked to me several different times to see if taking over the head coaching position was something that I wanted to do, because she knew that I would need to most likely give up my other job that I had.
Oh, okay.
And
That's something I didn't realize. That's interesting. Okay.
yes, and if I didn't have kids, maybe I could have managed both, but managing all three, like an outside job, working at the college,
Full-time
and taking
position,
care of my family,
yep.
just wasn't something I knew that I could probably take on, and I
Okay.
didn't want to be too overloaded to where I was like letting my family down, because that was the most important part.
That's
I
priority.
didn't want like my kids to, feel neglected in any type of way, because being away for a full-time job, I have nannies for my kids to take care of them, but I didn't want to have to be away extra time. And I also mentally just didn't want to be overloaded to where I was not fun to be around.
Right, right.
But so when she decided to leave, I did decide to take on the job. So I only had a couple of weeks. I think the girls moved in August 11th.
Okay.
So I had about 2 weeks to decide if I needed to recruit anymore, because 4 girls ended up actually not coming back
Okay.
to the team. 2 of them actually went with Chelsea down to Florida
Okay.
to play for her, and then the 3rd one, she ended up transferring to a school in Gillette, and then the 4th one didn't come back for academic reasons.
Other reasons. Okay.
But so then I had 10 girls to work with, and I was a little nervous about that. I didn't know if that was going to be enough, because we only had 1 setter, and usually you have 2 setters,
Okay.
just in case something happens, But I reached out to a couple of people, but it just didn't work out. So 10 was going to be our magic
So
number.
that was the set number
Yes,
after
that
trying
was-
a little
yes.
bit. Okay.
And it turns out it was like a perfect number. We have like the 10 most incredible girls on the team, and our setter is just doing a wonderful job as well. But so I had about 2 weeks to get all of our paperwork done, to get moved into my office, to quit my job, to just try to like get my life in order
Right.
to be like focused on coaching volleyball.
Sounds like
So-
such a risk to leave your other job and
Yeah.
to jump into this. Yeah, with not a lot of time, I guess.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
and I might add, I just had a baby too.
Okay.
So my son was actually just born in June, and so at the end of July is when I decided to take
Your
over
second
the job.
son. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was still on maternity leave. I was actually trying to come off of maternity leave to go back into my other job, and then all of it happened at the same time. Like
Wow.
everything happened at the same time. So
So quite
Yes.
the perfect storm.
Yeah. Yes, and it all worked out.
Well, I'm
Perfectly.
impressed. I mean, that's a lot to juggle and
Yeah.
to decide and to try to figure out to get you in position to then do what you were hired to do was like
Yeah.
coach. So much time and effort went into just to getting you to that position.
Yes, and
Yes.
and honestly, looking back at the storm that was going on, it almost like takes my like breath away. Like I can't believe like that I, did all of that and like stayed as calm as I did. I guess I think I just tried to think like it'll all work out. It'll
Right.
all work out. It'll all work out. So I tried not to get too, frustrated or upset about anything
Right.
that was happening, but. It was really exciting. It was a really exciting time. Lots of moving parts. Getting the girls here on campus, getting to know the girls, trying to make a practice schedule, because
Okay.
I had always just been a part of practice, but I never planned practices.
You weren't
or planned
leading.
workouts.
Yep.
Yes. So that was a hurdle for me.
Okay.
To get over. Just finding that confidence and knowing that I can do this, and it's something I've never done before, but I know that I can do it, and I know that I can get it done. So you mentioned, where we started to where we are now. At the beginning of the season, yes, we were average. We were trying to figure out who we were
Right.
as a team. And with such a small squad, you know, there's not a lot of movement. There's not a lot of substitutions you can do because you only have so many people to do it with. So we really just worked with what we had, and I knew our strength was going to be our defense because we had a ton of returners who were defensive specialists, and then several of the freshmen that came in were also 6 rotation players, which means that they can play the front row and then they can also play defense and play in the back row as well. And so defensively, I knew that we'd be strong, and defense wins ball games. And so
there you go.
I was just confident in that. The start of our season didn't go so well. We went to Phoenix and we lost all of our games in Phoenix.
I remember talking with you about that before your first home game here.
And those teams are top competitors, like in the nation. They are ranked, like one of the teams we played is #1 in the nation right now for D1 JUCO volleyball. Like they're just like really great programs out there. So it was good to get out there and see what competition there was, and to, you know, I don't know, learn a thing or two about how they play, what tempo they run, just how fast they play volleyball.
Do you think it helped the girls to see where they needed to be?
Yeah. I think it helped, like, even just a little bit, just to get them, to motivate them more, to want to work harder, to be better, to
setting that
to
bar
hone in on their skills. Yes, to definitely set the bar. We ended up getting a win eventually out of that tournament because one of the teams that we played had an ineligible player, so we actually got a win
on a technicality.
So that helped our record. That helped our morale actually a lot, because at the time in our season, I want to say we were 2-10, and we ended up being 3-9. So like that helped us. You know. And then coming back here, whenever we started playing conference games, we dropped I really feel like we only dropped 2 games in the season that we definitely could have won. It was against Dawson and Miles at their house. And I don't know, we've just like continuously like been improving all year. During practice, we really do individual type skills. So I'll split up the defense and the offense. I'll have defense work on defensive stuff, and then I'll have my hitters or my offense work on blocking or ways to hit the ball, just technique stuff, so that way in game time it's more natural for them to maybe snap their wrist, or, you know, swing all the way through, or not swing all the way through, you know, just different techniques that we've been really trying to focus on so that it's more natural in game time.
How much did you think about your leadership style, your coaching philosophy? Are you still developing that? What motivations or what inspirations did you take from? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I think that my coaching philosophy is still developing, but what it has been and what it currently is I always want the girls to work hard, but I want them to have fun. And I want their mental health to also be like a really top priority. So for sure at the beginning of the season, we did a lot of mental health exercises where they wrote out their goals and we talked about them, and then they did goals as a team, and then we talked about, you know, who's somebody who inspires you outside of this place, outside of Williston, somebody who has helped like mold you into who you are. Okay, let's reach out to them today and like let them know how much they mean to us. And
that's so
you know, just like
interesting.
you know, little things like that. And then mid-season, we did mid-season reflections where they chose like 3 things they could do better, 3 things their teammates could do better as a whole, and then 2 or 3 things that the coaching staff could do better to help improve us for the rest of the season, to see if, you know, we could make a bigger difference, you know, at the end of the season. And Coach Joe and I, we really did take that to heart, and we read through everything that they had to say, and we made changes like that next day, like with certain things that they wanted to see or hear from us. So we just started making changes. And I really like to get feedback from the girls, not too much to where they like kind of, you know, where they try to become the coach, I guess. But I do want to know how they feel about certain things.
Their voices need to be heard.
Yes, I for sure feel that is a
So
really
was that
important
something
aspect.
that was done with you when you were a player, or how did you come to that? Did you read about it? Did you talk it over with other coaches? I'm interested in that perspective. Yeah.
My JUCO coach,
Okay.
I feel like she didn't ask us our opinions on things, but she definitely like mentally checked on us.
Okay.
You know, so like that was one thing that I really loved from her. She always made sure to connect with each of her players individually, and
Okay.
I felt like that really helped, you know, just our connections with her.
Right.
Because when you know somebody, you like want to kind of like be better for that person.
Take care
I
of
guess.
them. Yeah. It's a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I for sure wanted to have those types of relationships with all my players.
Okay.
Like, their families aren't here. So I want to be able to like be a person for them they can come to if they have an issue. Like if they've maybe made a bad decision and they need to call somebody and their parents aren't here, I want them to call me first.
Okay.
You know, so I can help them and be an advocate for them, you know, while their families aren't here. Because I have to take care of them too, and I want to take care of them, and I want them to...
Caring about the whole person, not just the player,
Yes,
is interesting, and I think is a good step. Yeah.
And actually, a former player of ours, Daphne Sanchez, I remember one time we were writing something down, and she wrote that she wants to be known for Daphne, not that she's an athlete. Like, she wanted to be known for herself and not just the fact that she's an athlete.
Okay.
And when I read that, I really took that to heart. Like, I was like, you know what? She's completely right. These girls aren't just athletes. Like, we don't just bring them here to perform and, you know, and put them through drills. Like, I want them to develop outside of sports and, like, really develop their personalities and, like, just to be good people. I just like want them to leave here being better than they were when they got here, you know, just like get 1% better each day.
And not just, like you said, what they do on the court. It's about taking care of them and helping them improve as people. Yeah. And that's admirable. I really do like that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and I'm also a really empathetic person.
Okay.
So I'm always, like if I see somebody cry, I am for sure going to be crying right there next to them. Even if I don't know them, I'm probably going to be crying and hugging them and asking them what happened, you know, whatever. I'm just that type of person.
Okay.
And so I think about how do they feel about certain things, so I try to like beat them to the punch, I guess. You know what I mean?
You can put yourself in their mindset, in their position easily to help them.
Yes. So
is that kind of what you're getting at?
Yes.
Okay.
Words are not coming out of my mouth.
Oh, you're doing great. You're doing great.
But that has also like shaped my coaching philosophy too. Is that like I try to put myself in their shoes and then kind of shape my coaching around that.
Okay.
I do try to be like I'm not like a super mean like
a taskmaster, like the typical coach that I think people in past generations got to know as your drill.
Yes.
You focus on your performance only and not really care about anything else. I think that's changing now, and I think that's a good change that's coming. Yeah.
Yep. I for sure think it's a good change.
But I think I haven't been at your practices, but I can see from your demeanor on the court that you still do have that drive and that coaching mentality of focusing on the basics and making sure that the girls try to be as perfect as they can while they're playing. But it's very interesting to get to know that you also have this other side to your coaching, which is more empathetic, more taking care of their whole being. And I think that's good for people to know, and I think it's great that you have focused on that.
Yeah, and yes, you mentioned during games I do look very focused, and sometimes I look mean, and the girls will tell me that like my eyes will scare them because when they do something wrong, I just like stare at them.
Right.
I just
But at
stare
least
at
you're
them,
not
and then they're
yelling.
like,
At
"Oh my
least you can just
gosh."
have the stare. You don't get hysterical. You're very measured. But I'm sure they know from practice and whatever what those looks mean.
Yes.
Which is not totally a bad thing too. There has to be a little bit of fear there and
Yeah.
and respect. Yeah.
Yeah, so that part is funny. So I do look very focused in all the photos that you take.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even smiling in any of the photos you took of me, but that's okay.
I think I do try to get you when I can see you smiling and having fun. But with photography, it's just the camera will find the story and the energy where it is.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're focused, that's what comes out. If it's more relaxed, I'll catch that. You know, I try to observe
No, I was just
as much
saying,
as
it's
I
on me.
can.
It's on me.
Well, no,
But-
yeah.
But the other part of my philosophy for coaching is I do want the girls to have fun.
Mhm.
I don't want to be like a military sergeant whenever I'm at practice and during games and things like that. I want them to have a good time. I want them to love being here. I don't want them to dread coming to practice. I don't want them to dread coming to a workout. Even though they know they're going to have to work hard when they come to those things, I still want them to enjoy themselves as much as they can. So we laugh a lot, we joke around a lot, but I think that helps just kind of like take the pressure off
Okay.
of them so they don't feel like they're always trying to perform 100% all the time. Like I don't want that. You know, I want them to perform 100% when they're at a game. You know, when it really matters to win a ball game. But other than that, I want them to enjoy their time here. I want them to, when they look back at Williston State as a whole, I want them to say, oh my gosh, I loved that place. I wish that place was a four-year school because I loved my coach, or I loved my program, or
I love learning there.
I
It's
loved
helped me
learning.
improve.
Yes, like
Yeah.
I want them to love the town and you know, love their professors. I want them to love everything about this place, and I am just like a small part of their experience here, and so I just want to make sure it's the best experience that they possibly can have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think you're the right person for the job. Like I said, I've been impressed with the improvement that I've seen, definitely. I've been watching a lot of the MLB playoffs, and my Diamondbacks are in the championship series,
Oh,
and
good
I
for
just
you.
marvel at the little things that could go one way or the other that kind of make the difference. And then when I've been watching your volleyball games compared with the beginning of the season, I see little defensive plays or little effort plays that are being executed now that weren't necessarily being executed in the beginning of the season that do make the difference. It helps you guys go on a run. It helps you get points and stop your opponents from getting points.
Yeah.
And so a lot of your games seem to be kind of close. You aren't blowing people out, but I think has been part of the difference in your winning streak, is those little things. The girls really do seem to be more aggressive. They're going at it, and then that has helped change, one or two plays that can affect the outcome.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the season, we really struggled to finish games. We would start off well, and then we would, lose a point or two, and then we would just
Kind of
completely
fall
break
apart,
down.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and then slowly, like we've been improving that skill, and so instead of taking every team to 5 games, which we did at the beginning of the season, we took everybody to 5. It seemed like and it was just mentally exhausting.
Right.
Now we're doing it in 4, or we're doing it in 3, and so lots of improvement for sure. And at practice, we do a lot of drills where we have to get a first ball kill, which just means like as soon as it gets on our side of the court, we just do what we can to get a kill,
Get a
to
point.
put the ball down, no matter
Okay.
how we put it down. And we've been really trying to improve our volleyball IQ. So
Okay.
that just means like knowing where the other team is at on the court, where are their open spots, where are they not defending, who is their weakest player, who can we pick on, and
Okay.
that's what we've really been working on too the last few weeks of season.
Okay.
So that's just helped us win a lot of the games that we have, for sure.
Perfect. there anything else about your coaching that you want to get into? What else about the experience this year? And then maybe, I know I asked like 3 questions in a row, and then I guess it seems like we're getting close to the end here. What else would you like the community to know about the volleyball program and about coming out and supporting you guys? Okay.
So this job, I wanted to tell you, has actually turned out to be a dream job for me. I never knew that head coaching was something that I wanted to do full time, but I have really just enjoyed every single day that I've spent here on campus, spent here with the girls. I look forward to coming to work in the morning, and it's hard for me to leave at the end of the day, you know, because I feel like I could just be here all day.
Time just flies by because you're
flies.
So focused in on it.
Yes.
That's really cool.
And sometimes I feel when I'm in my office, I don't even have enough time. It's so weird. It feels like I don't even have enough time to like get all the things done that I need to get done, but everything that I'm doing, I enjoy it.
I think
so
that
much.
is a sign that you are where you should be when that happens. So
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because I think you are perfect for this position. I've seen the improvement. So selfishly, I would like you to stay here and continue. So I'm glad.
Well, hey, who knows? I might be here for forever.
That's awesome. Well, just to know that you're going to continue to coach.
Yes,
you know, whether here or
Yes.
wherever, but just stay coaching, because I think you are developing a good philosophy, and I think you do help the ladies and players under your coaching. So
Well, thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell people a little bit more about the game on
Sure.
Sunday, and then how to come out, how to support you guys?
Yeah, so tomorrow we have our first playoff game here in the Well at 2 p.m. We get to play against Miles City Community College. We actually split with them this season. We lost at their house, but then we beat them here. The girls worked really, really hard this season to secure that 3rd place spot in the conference, which is just such an incredible feat.
That is awesome.
We're so proud of them. So this is going to be the last home game of the season. So we really just want the entire community, anybody to come out to support the girls and really just send them off with, you know, great memories of the Well. We want it to be packed. If there's any local high school volleyball programs that do want to come out, we do give free admission to those teams. So their coaches or any of the girls can just reach out to us. If they know somebody on the volleyball team, they can text them, and my volleyball players will let me know. That actually happened last week. Some of them they knew some of the Williston High School girls, and they were texting each other, and they just said, "Hey coach, can Williston come?" I said, "For sure, please."
Awesome.
Any of them can. So you can either reach out to us on our Instagram handle, which is at Teton VB, or you can go to wsctetons.com and you can find my email there, or reach out to Coach Alex Herman or Mason Prisbilla, and they can get you on the list as well.
Just to get in. That is awesome that you allow future volleyball players to come in and watch you guys. That's a way to grow your, you know, your program.
Yeah,
that's
and
awesome.
It definitely helps the high schoolers like get to see our level of play and like what they can look forward to if that's something that they're interested in, if they want to play at the next level. At our Botano game that we just had last Wednesday, we had 6 high school programs there.
I saw that there.
Yeah.
It was afterwards. I saw the girls wanted to take pictures with your players.
Yeah.
And that was kind of interesting to see. Yeah, that's
really,
awesome.
It's really nice. It's really
Inspiration
sweet.
for them.
Yes, yeah, big inspiration for them. And a couple of them talked to me after the games or emailed me, "Hey, you know, I really want to play Teton Volleyball.
That's
you know,
awesome.
Can I come for a tryout? Or, you know, how can I send you film? I really want you to see me play." So yeah, it just gets a lot of excitement going, and really, I think gives the girls, like I said, just an opportunity to see what it's like at this level. And I love that they want to play at the next level. That's just wonderful.
Awesome.
I love that.
The games are fun. The girls do have tons of fun, and they are killing it right now. They're developing that killer attitude and finishing games. So anything you can do to come out, make some noise, and give them that extra adrenaline will help them in this playoff game. So explain the playoff structure a little bit. So after this game, what happens next? How does it all play out?
Yeah, so first in our region, we have 7 teams, and they actually divide us into 2, the East and the West. On the west side, it's us, Bismarck State, Dawson Community College, and Miles Community College.
Okay.
And on the other side, it's NDSCS in Wapaton,
Okay.
Lake Region, Botno, and then there's a fourth team that actually gets thrown into our tournament. And so the first and fourth seeds play each other, and then 2 and 3 play each other.
Okay.
Then the winners of those 2 games play each other.
Mhm.
Then the winners of the East and the
East and
West
West
play each other.
go. Okay.
And then that winner gets to go on to the Nationals tournament.
Okay.
Where the big dogs play.
Okay.
You know, so after Sunday, after tomorrow's game, when we win, we will
There
be
you go.
playing against most likely Bismarck
Okay.
at Bismarck,
Okay.
I believe. And then the winner of that game will play the winner of Lake Region and NDSCS, or we'll play the winner of the East side.
So after you win tomorrow, when would that next
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yep, away.
So you give you some time, you'll have to travel.
Yeah, we'll have a
Okay.
couple days to practice, and we would only have to travel to Bismarck, which is awesome because it's not that far. And then the winner of that game, I'm not sure where the East and West
Face
would
off.
play.
Okay.
I would assume Bismarck because they got the #1 seed this
Okay.
year. So I would assume it would just be at Bismarck. It would be
Okay.
so great if we could just come back here in the well. You know, we really do have one of the best gyms, or the best gym in the conference.
Facilities, yes.
Yes, I mean it is just such a beautiful.
It's a
gym.
beautiful place to play. Yes.
It really is, and so none of our competition has what we have in that aspect, and so
Okay.
it would be really nice if we could host.
If you haven't come out and check it out and make some noise.
Yes.
It'll be a great time.
Yep, we would appreciate it.
And
We'd
let's
love
go all the
see
way
you
to
guys.
nationals. Why
Yeah, why not?
not? Bring me along. I'd love to take
Yes.
photos there.
We've got extra
Yes.
seat on the bus just for you.
Okay. Well, thank
That'd be
you
great.
so much for taking the time to talk to me and talk to our followers. And yeah, if there's anything else I can do for you in the future, let me know.
Okay, great. Yeah, we love working with you, JK, so thank you so much.
Thank you.